for this area, nothing unusual, but they did see a funnel cloud. The way it's worded here in the storm report, it says, dispatch reports a funnel cloud currently over courthouse. So that's just, that's scary. I hope those folks there are in the courthouse. It's a very well-built structure, so hopefully everybody is getting to that bottom floor and in the hallway of that building there. That's where you need to be at in this situation. Kind of like the school drills we all used to go through. They'd take us out in the hallway and they'd make us line up against the walls and away from the windows and doors and make us do the little duck down and put our hands in between our legs, in between our knees, and our hands behind our head, and lay us down in order, if anything fell on us, that's where you need to be, and you need to kind of protect the back of your head. So I encourage them to do something similar, get into that location if you can right now at the courthouse. The most intense part of the sale has kind of gone on by, but sometimes it may be lagging behind a little bit. So Whitley County, under the gun right now. You just heard that City of Williamsburg seeing the funnel cloud possibly overhead there at the courthouse downtown in Williamsburg. Again, a populated area. A lot of people still at work because it's relatively early, right? So some people could still be right there at work.
Jimmy, some new warnings to talk about, not tornado, but severe thunderstorm warnings just issued for Knott County, northeastern Letcher County, and east central Perry County out until 3:45.
3:45. So a whole bunch of warnings here. Again, this is day 2 of severe weather for southeastern Kentucky and southern Kentucky. I'm really concerned about this second cell here too, producing some large hail and also some damaging winds. Just looking at it there will indicate that. And there you see the other warnings that we do have out. We've got to, of course, try to review everything we can while we're on the air because it's all very dangerous situations. So you there in Knott County, Floyd County, Pike and Letcher, and parts of Perry, you need to be paying attention as well as some severe thunderstorms are going through your area. New storm track just popping up, and when you see the blue one, that blue cylinder showing up there, that's more of a hail indicator. And I mentioned this a little while ago. One of the things that goes hand in hand with tornadic activity, a lot of times you run into possible large hail. It's almost, it'll hail for a little while and then boom, sometimes a tornado just kind of rolls through. Large hail expected out of that. And that's what that little indicator there, that little marker is suggesting that we're seeing out there. And the marker going away here briefly, but again, hearing the reports of golf ball sized hail, possible tornado right over top of the courthouse just a few minutes ago. That came in at 3:03 and it's 3:07 right now. So this one's still moving off through southeastern now, southeastern Whitley County. The positive thing that I see from this is you're only seeing a couple of roads, and sometimes that suggests that maybe it's a lower populated area. Rock Spring Road, you've got Upper Mulberry School Road, and 92, all of these locations now under the gun. So if you know anybody living on one of these roads, possible tornado headed in your direction, it's coming your way here very, very shortly. That storm is moving off toward the south and east here. And you're right there in the line of fire, so to speak. No better way to kind of say that or suggest that there. Some of the other roads, Pearl Siler Road, you got 92 as mentioned, a couple of other locations. I'll throw them up here as quickly as possible. The banner kind of blocking that one. But State Highway 1809, State Highway 1809. I'll even pull the banner down for just a moment here. And so you can see that as well. So there you see it. There's State Highway 1809 right there behind the Sky Alert tornado warning graphic that you see at the top of your screen that we keep up in these situations. So all of those areas, if you're in there, please take shelter right now. You don't need to wait.
And Jim, this afternoon, people should not, not be vigilant even after these warnings have passed, because we have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect for most of the viewing area until 8 o'clock tonight, and then several other severe storms moving through portions of far eastern Kentucky, Floyd County, Pike County up that way as well. So
it's a very dangerous situation everywhere you look, and one of the big concerns I have long after the tornadic threat goes away is we go back up the road here and you see it right there, another intense cell with some pretty intense rainfall associated with that, and that sparks the flash flooding, something that eastern Kentucky, southern Kentucky are very familiar with. One of our biggest threats for all of eastern Kentucky is the flash flooding. And again, that's going to be one of the big issues we run into here, I think. After this is all said and done, we may have some flood problems as well, stretching all through these areas. You can see the flash flood warnings running all the way up until 6 o'clock for Bell, Knox, Laurel, McCrary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley counties. And it's this situation here that we always want to remind you: turn around, don't drown. TAD, turn around, don't drown. And in this particular situation we've got going on today, you want to try to get to a strong shelter, and you also want to try to avoid any water that may appear over some of the area roadways, and that could happen, and that could happen in a hurry out there this afternoon. With everything we've got going on, you've got the double whammy, as I mentioned, with 2 sales back to back, so the flood threat will live on even long after this severe thunderstorm goes through. So 2 things you need to be aware of. So if you're right now in Bell County, it's starting to rain. You're starting to see some lighter amounts of rain. Maybe the wind's picked up a little bit, because sometimes these storms will eject quite a bit of wind. On the lighter side, it's a little more gusty. You're starting to notice it. Listen, you want to be in your safe location there, your safe location right now. Get into maybe your basement, the lowest point of your home, somewhere in that area, and stay safe here for the next 30 minutes or so. The warning runs till 3:30 or at 3:11. And it's taking its sweet time as it moves off toward the south and east here. Looks like it's moving right around 40 miles per hour. So 40 miles per hour. Let me lay in a specific storm track out on that. And just got to fix some data here real quick. And out we go with this storm cell. So off toward the south and east, I'll take you out over the next 30 minutes. And over the next 30 minutes, here's the way it plays out. Southeast at 40, you're looking at about 15,000, of course, according to the computer's estimates here, 15,000 people possibly being affected from Polycamp to Carpenter, Frakes, Davisburg, Union School, all of those areas right through there. Meldrum included in on that over the next 30 minutes at the current pace that it's going, which is 40 miles per hour on the cell that could be producing a tornado there in Whitley County. Again, if you're just getting on the air with us, several reports of funnel clouds, golf ball sized hail, all coming from this cell that we're trying to key in on and track over the next 30 minutes. So a lot of people saying that, passing right over the courthouse, possibly there in the city of Williamsburg, county seat down there in Whitley County. So a very dangerous storm there. And then again, you look behind you, and another one will roll through here very shortly as well. I'll also get a storm track going on that, because that's a dangerous one too. It's a severe thunderstorm warning for Laurel, McCrary, Pulaski, and Whitley County, some of the same areas that were hit just a little while ago, saying the same thing, and this could be producing winds in excess of about 60 miles per hour, just normal straight line winds. That's what we're talking about associated with this one. So it's moving off toward the southeast a little slower at around 30 miles per hour. So we'll track this out so you can see that some of the same areas will be affected again here in just a little while. Looking at Lover's Leap, Overlook, Deering, Crop Rockholds, all of those locations through there over the next 30 minutes. That's what you're going to be dealing with across southern Kentucky. 13,000 people affected by the second storm now as it heads off toward the south and east here. And watching new data come in here too as well, right?
And Jim, also, I've noticed this over the past few minutes, the cell moving through Whitley County that's caused, the reports, looks like on Doppler it's getting smaller, but that doesn't mean it's not still packing a punch.
That's right. It could still be doing just that. And a statement just issued from the Weather Service says numerous reports of funnel clouds in the entire area. They've seen a wall cloud right through there in the city of Williamsburg area, and a wall cloud also reported. So obviously an extremely dangerous situation, and we have to pay very close attention to it, especially if you're now there in southeastern Whitley County and over into Bell County. See, the good thing about Bell County is that we've got a little lead time for you folks. We're telling you what's coming down the pike, so you need to go ahead and put those plans into motion. Let's show those safety tips there for the folks there in southeastern Whitley County and for the folks there in Bell County. There we go. We mentioned this so many times, but sometimes when you get in a hurry, you get kind of scared and worried. I'll tell you, it's hard to remember what to do, but the best place to be is in a basement. If you don't have that basement, you need to get to the lowest level of your home, which could be the first floor, and get into the interior hallway and interior room and stay very, very safe right there. And other things that you can do: use a blanket or a pillow to cover your body. I made a reference to a football player earlier. He wouldn't go out on the football field without having those football pads on. Well, let me tell you what. You add these blankets or pillows to cover your body, and that's going to add an extra protective layer to you as well. It works the same way as those football pads work. Evacuate mobile homes and vehicles. Now, the reason we say evacuate mobile homes is they can easily be picked up and thrown. In this situation, research through the years, storm damage through the years has shown that these are not as safe places to be in because of that factor, that they can be picked up and just thrown. Kind of like a car can be blown off the road with one of these storms. Just think of it as your child is playing with his Hot Wheels cars, picked it up and can just throw it across the room, so to speak. That's the same reference. That's the way it should be gone into your head, because that same thing can happen with a tornado and those types of homes and those types of cars. Again, wonderful homes to live in, but in this situation kind of gets a little hairy and very scary and very dangerous. Stay away from windows and down power lines. You don't want to go out sightseeing here if you're in Whitley County. You want to just sit right there and wait for the all clear message to come through. And even after this one goes through, we're still dealing with a very dangerous situation. So just keep that in mind if you're there in Whitley County and in Bell County. And if you're in Pearl, you've got several other locations here. We'll go a little closer, and some more data will be able to pop up, like some of these roads. Laurel Fork Road, there's 190, and this is all in Bell County too. Remember that. Blacktop Road, and there's again another section of 190, Tiny Branch Road. All of these locations getting ready to see a possible tornado coming your way. And new flash flood warnings also issued here for some locations seeing flooding already earlier on this year, and that's parts of Pike County. Which areas is that? We'll go over and check it out.
Yeah, especially, and also the flash flood warning for northeastern Letcher County as well. We actually had a crew down there today around the Fleming Neon area that got some reports of pretty bad flooding from last night's storms. And then if you add this rain on top of that, you never know what it could bring for those folks already trying to clean up and deal with that down there.
It's always a very tricky situation when you're dealing with it. So right there you see, this is not the same area Pike County got hit so hard. So that's some welcome news, because those folks got hit hard twice in a month. But toward McRoberts, Jenkins, high water expected over the next few hours. It's running all the way up until 6:15 here this evening. 6:15 for flash flood warnings through there. And again, that's one of the big threats we have in eastern Kentucky. And on top of that, you also have that severe thunderstorm warning that is running through there as well. And just to give you the update on that, blowing through Pippa Passes right now toward the city of Hindman, those locations seeing severe thunderstorm warning until 3:45. Now, it's included Perry here, but if you notice, we're looking at Perry. It's just a small sliver, and the bulk of the activity is not really directly affecting us. Kind of the way the warning was drawn up in the early goings of this, and when the storm cell was in a different location, could very well have affected them. But right now, that's where the main threat area is for those folks. The big threat, the primary threat, and the reason we're still here on the air is that cell right there in southeastern Whitley County. Now, what comes to my attention here on the second cell, which is a severe thunderstorm warning, we're starting to pick up on some rotation within the thunderstorm. And that's what that little marker is suggesting. And again, I look for this data to start showing up right here. And again, I'm just going to look at it here just to review it, showing that there may be some rotation there. Weak at the moment according to this data set. So this data set still picking up on more rotation in the second cell. And sometimes that happens and nothing ever comes of it. But we'll watch that one over the next 30 minutes, or the next 10 minutes, excuse me. It runs out at 3:30. We'll watch that here pretty closely too, because the potential for maybe another one to come developing out of that could happen. If it doesn't happen, you're still going to be dealing with strong winds and a lot of hail expected out of both of these storms, because already hearing reports of golf ball sized hail, numerous funnel clouds, all of that coming out of cell number 1 in Whitley County. The second one just crossing the border coming your way out of McCreary County and the northeastern corner of McCreary County. That's where I'm seeing some of that rotation showing up according to this data set that we've got popped up here. Brandon, review those warnings real quick. I got to check some data here on this computer.
Okay, the last warning that I think I was looking at just a second ago, for this cell here, I believe, runs out at 3:45. The one for the severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, possible flooding over there in Letcher County. Going to get some possibly some photos here in a little bit for the folks there in Letcher County. Okay, so there we go.
And then actually, this is a 3:30 for this one. This is the one that we're seeing some rotation on, a little bit on Doppler radar indicated. No reports of any, funnel clouds or anything spotted yet. But 3:30 for this one for the severe thunderstorm warning. Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, and Whitley counties. Flash flood warning goes into effect for now until 6 o'clock for Bell, Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley counties. And then back to the storm we've been tracking all along down here in southern and southeastern Whitley County. That tornado warning runs for another about 10 minutes or so till 3:30. Flash flood warning in effect for those counties until about 6 o'clock tonight. So pretty strong storms moving through the area this afternoon. And also not to forget about the folks up in eastern Kentucky, far eastern Kentucky. Let's zoom out and go up there to show you those warnings over here in Knott County. Got that severe thunderstorm warning for Knott, Letcher. It's for Perry, but like Jimmy said, there's not very much left in Perry County. Not getting most of the action of that storm system right now, and that expires. That's the one that expires at 3:45, and then reports of scattered flooding in certain places back toward early reports from last night down in the Letcher County area. Nothing so far substantiated today. So we're still tracking this storm system here in southeast Whitley County. That's the one the tornado warning is in effect for the next few minutes. Still packing quite a punch. And if you've noticed, like we were talking about just a few minutes ago, this cell has shrunk significantly, but that does not mean that it cannot still pack a punch, that it's not still capable of producing a tornado. So folks over Bell County getting close now. You can see there on Doppler to the city of Middlesboro. So I'd say in the next few minutes, those folks definitely need to be on their guard now, but the folks in Middlesboro will be seeing this storm roll through in the next few minutes.
Still seeing some broad rotation within that thunderstorm there in southeastern Whitley County as well. I'm checking it out here on one of the other radar products that we've got, and there's still some at least broad circulation or rotation within that cell. So it is possible that there could be a tornado within that thunderstorm that we're looking at there. Still, the one that has sparked all of the interest here over the last little bit with numerous funnel cloud reports and, of course, severe thunderstorm warnings issued for it and all the major significant weather activity out there in southern Kentucky. Still going right on down toward the south and east here in southeastern Whitley County. That's the one we're going to watch pretty closely here for the next little bit. And then, of course, you got that second wave, that second storm that'll come through here very shortly, indicating some rotation on our radar here and on some of the other radar products that I've reviewed here. Some broad rotation in it. And when it becomes a little more on the broad side and it's not that small back-to-back kind of rotation factor, what happens is it's just a general flow in the overall storm. And what we're seeing right here in Whitley County, it's still almost kind of on the tight side, but what we're dealing with here could possibly be and could have been at some point here in the last couple of hours a tornado somewhere in that area of Whitley County there, Brandon. So the beat goes on here, it looks like, for the folks there in Whitley County and down into sections of Bell County. Far southwestern Bell County is what we're looking at here. So the entire western section covered up with the tornado warning and, of course, the potential for flash flooding, strong winds, all of that, again, coming that way.
The weather causing one cancellation we'll pass along to you real quick. The Hyman United Methodist Vacation Bible School canceled for tonight. That's Vacation Bible School over at Hyman United Methodist. So a lot of rain moving through that area. Severe thunderstorm warning till about 3:45 this afternoon. So a lot of different places seeing a little bit of action on the Doppler today, Jimmy.
And it was like that yesterday. We had that one line. The only difference between today and yesterday is we had the one line that kind of just blasted through and did damage in the same areas. Some trees up here and there. Today, looking a little more impressive as far as the tornadic threat. 2 days, though, in a row of getting reports and of people seeing funnel clouds, I mean, left and right coming in all across the area here. So we're watching this very closely, this situation, as that storm continues to move south and east here this afternoon. And we'll watch and see what it does here once it enters Bell County. Again, the tornado warning officially running all the way out until 3:30 on this cell. So if you're down there in Bell County, be prepared, because we have a doozy of a storm that is moving through your area right now. We've got the severe thunderstorm potential that will continue on into the evening hours here. We were under the slight risk for severe weather today. Everything kind of validating itself here as we go, and that's not necessarily a good thing. We don't want to have to deal with the severe weather, obviously, but today it is rolling right on through. And let me go a little bit closer here. Checking, I'm running 2 or 3 computers here at once. Supposed to be getting an email. Have you seen your email?
Let me check and see.
Check and see if we've got anything coming in. Also start to check, I'm going to pull up the Twitter. If anybody is out there, twitter.com. If you have never heard of that before, it's a social networking site. It's a great way to pass information along, and you can always pass your information along there, or you can just simply email it to me as well. Email it to us here at the station. And email address, the easiest one right now, weather@wymtnews.com. So you can send it right to me here, and I'll be able to get it if you've got any information, and try to get that passed along. If you've got pictures, I encourage you to wait till everything has kind of settled down before you try to go out there and play photographer, because this is a very dangerous situation. But if you're far enough away and you can get a quick snapshot, a video, whatever, go ahead, shoot it right to us here, and we'll possibly use it on one of our newscasts. And if we get it in time, we've got the appropriate staff here. We can also try to throw it up there. So we can throw it up there and try to show some folks right now what it's doing as it moves across southern Kentucky. So we're still watching it in southeastern Whitley County, as it is really starting to roll off toward the south and east. Harlan County, so some folks reporting that they had some thunder and lightning earlier on today. So also getting that coming through my Twitter, and dealing with some severe thunderstorms all across southeastern Kentucky here at the moment. Now, Harlan not being directly affected at the moment, but more storms are out there, and they could be affected. Again, you can relay information through our web channel, WYMTnews.com. You can also relay it through Twitter.com. Just search my name. You'll find me on there. You'll find all of us here from WYMT. You can go to our web channel and actually find our accounts there, so you can start following us, and we can exchange information. It's a great little network here to pass along what's going on out there in the weather world. And right now, again, tornado warning running for 3 more minutes. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with the status of the warning with all the reports that have gone through. Now, it has weakened to some degree, just as the second cell has. But again, you have to stay on your toes, because we'll still have some issues to have to deal with here in southeastern Kentucky, with flash flood warnings and the severe thunderstorm warnings that are also out here for the next little bit. Again, it looks like it's weakened to some degree. I was checking a little while ago. Some of the rotation was broader and getting broader and broader. And that's a positive thing, because what that can mean is the small little area that could be a tornado could start to kind of fall apart here. And you saw the flash flood warning information, severe thunderstorm warning information, waiting for the countdown here for the tornado warning. Probably run at least until 3:30.
About a minute and a half left.
So you've got about like you said, about a minute and a half or so left on the tornado warning there in Whitley County and into Bell County. And what they could do is, because it's not reached the county line yet, well, it's starting to, looks like, yeah, getting pretty close, starting to barrel right on in. What they could do is they could extend the actual warning. I don't think they'll extend it any further off toward the west off toward the east, because it's just moving on that certain line right now. And of course, the Weather Service office in Jackson does not handle northern Tennessee warnings, so what we're going to see will die out there with them. And as I say that, you see Morristown, the weather office down there, extending their warning now to a severe thunderstorm warning. National Weather Service in Jackson, they'll hold on to that one. So you can see in a couple of counties there on the border over into Tennessee, severe thunderstorm warning up until 4:30 p.m. So that's about an hour, and about an hour's worth of warnings there. And again, right now at 3:29, about 30 seconds away from actual technical expiration time there on this cell. And right now, just looking like they're going to let that possibly expire, let severe thunderstorm warnings cover it. Not sure yet.
I think we're getting something new in here right now.
Some new data coming in. our little thinker there, our little processor is starting to light up. So we'll watch and see what it says here in just a moment and see if they extend it. Again, the intensity gone to some degree, but again, sometimes when that happens, you can still be dealing with possible tornadic activity as it starts to go down, as the storm starts to kind of fall apart and weaken. Sometimes that can be the time period when it happens. Not all the time, but that can be when we're dealing with it.
Till 4 o'clock.
Until 4 p.m. So, no, wait a minute. Now that's a different warning.
Or is that the one up to the?
That is a different. Yeah,
okay,
that sure is.
Bigger cell.
Because
yep.
as he was saying that in my ear, he says that included Knox. So that's going to have to be that second cell, and not seeing.
Not yet.
Not just yet.
It's Southwestern Bell.
Well, that is
Southeastern
going
Whitley.
that is that cell there,
that's
right there. They've just they extended the time frame. Didn't expect that due to what we were seeing. So it caught me off guard just a little bit. Let's. I'm going to check some rotation in that, Brandon, and you just see if it's plotted the new warning yet. It probably has.
Let's see what we've got here.
See if it's plotted that, and
it has.
There you have it.
The new warning is up.
So boom, there you go. Tornado warning running all the way to 4 o'clock. I'm going to look at some of this rotation data over here, but check on that other cell too.
Okay. Let's type, because when he first said that, I was kind of expecting it to be this one, because this is still a pretty good looking cell.
Well, it is a good looking cell, and there was some rotation also showing up in it a little while ago. So, and it's pretty intense, no doubt about that.
Let's see what we have for this cell here. It's taking it just. I think the severe thunderstorm warning has been completely canceled for that one.
Looks like they've let that one go.
Yeah,
still pretty intense. We'll watch that pretty closely, though.
Still a stout storm, especially there around Youngs Creek, just passing Honeybee. I believe that's Whitley County coming out of, let me go the other way here, coming out of McCreary County. So, yes, that's still a pretty good little cell there, but the tornado warning has been extended till 4 o'clock for this cell right here, moving through portions of southeastern Whitley County, southwestern Bell County, and extreme south central Knox County. And then we saw from just a few minutes ago, the National Weather Service in Morristown issued I believe this one's from Morristown, if the Tennessee counties involved.
Tennessee counties,
yeah. For 4:30 for a severe thunderstorm warning out of the same cell into Campbell, Claiborne, and Union counties, and also Bell County there as well. So, but still in Kentucky through the Jackson office, we have the tornado warning in effect until 4 o'clock. If you're just tuning in here, this has been a dangerous storm. We've tracked it on the air for you since about 2:30. Seeing it move through portions of Whitley County, numerous reports of funnel clouds, one over the courthouse, one near the airport by train spotters. And then we're seeing also some movement toward the Tennessee border now, Middlesboro. If you're Middlesboro, you'll be under the gun in the next few minutes. That storm system you saw the last sweep there, bringing it even closer to you folks. But it doesn't look like, it still looks to me like it's weakening a little bit, but the warning is still in effect, tornado warning down in Bell, Knox, and Whitley.
Until at least 4 o'clock.
Okay, we're just getting word now that the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for far eastern portions of Perry County is now canceled. I believe still in effect for Knott and not sure what the other county was up there, but Knott County.
Looks like Letcher, a couple of others in on that warning. This cell kind of moving along here very slowly at around 25 miles per hour, and I'll lay a track out from back into Whitley County, because that appears to be where the most severe section is at, and I'm just looking at where the rotation could possibly be at here on the other computer. Let me fix this track just a little bit, take it out for at least around 30 minutes, and show you who's under the gun. There's Frakes and Middlesboro, City of Middlesboro, all of those locations here. About 21,000 people now under the gun for the next little bit with this possible tornado down there in Whitley and now into Bell counties. A very intense situation. Let me throw up another radar, the Morristown radar, see if we get a different look at it. And we can. We'll see it a little differently here. Closer, yeah. And just depending on where you're at, sometimes one radar may suffice more than the others will, and this seems to be working pretty good right now too, and certainly detecting on the intensity of this severe thunderstorm. There you see the Jackson radar, so very close in what they are seeing. It's almost midway between both of them here. But right now, still dealing with that tornado warning for the folks down there in southeastern Whitley, and there's a little sliver of Knox that's included. It's right outside of the heaviest area of precipitation and where the strongest part of that cell is at. And what they're seeing, and I know you've seen on when we've covered storms for years now, you've seen bright colors, you've seen the purples, the pinks. And what's going on is there's just some rotation in there suggesting there could be a tornado. So I know this does not look that intense on radar at the moment, but sometimes they can live on past their prime, so to speak, as far as the storms. The intensity is concerned. They can live on past that here, as that could be the case that we're now seeing there in Bell County. Pearl, Alcott, Pruden, all these locations also under the gun. I mentioned Frakes a moment ago, and some of those other spots like the city of Middlesboro. You just need to be prepared for possible tornadic activity. So far, no new reports coming in of any damage I haven't seen in Whitley County. That doesn't mean there isn't any. Because sometimes folks just kind of wait it out, and they may just be waiting it out before they assess the damage and pass that information along. But if you do have damage, pass that along to some law enforcement, emergency management down that area, so appropriate crews can get out there within the next few days and check the damage and see what's going on. Because again, with all these reports of funnel clouds and the right data showing up here on radar, I highly suspect storm survey crews will be out and about again assessing the damage to determine whether or not we had tornadoes in this area. That's usually what they do the day after, and if they're down there today, I'm not sure what their status was and where they were going, but if they're out there today, they're getting maybe first-hand exposure to more significant weather down in southern Kentucky if they traveled in that way out there this afternoon, this time frame. And
that warning that Jim was talking about there is still in effect, the tornado warning for about 13, or rather about 24, 23 more minutes. So we'll be keeping an eye on it here. And the cell moving right now toward I-75 across 90 back toward Whitley County, an area that, this first cell already moved through earlier this afternoon. That looks like some heavier bands of showers and thunderstorms moving through there this hour. And, you could see something develop out of that. There was a severe thunderstorm warning for this cell at one point, but they have, the National Weather Service has allowed that to expire. And now just a flash flood warning for that one, that cell moving there that you see on your screen toward Williamsburg. But the big story this afternoon, we're still tracking that cell moving through portions of Bell County, getting close to the city of Middlesboro along about 190 right there is the closest big road there that we're seeing affected by that. New severe thunderstorm warning issued. East Central McCreary County, Whitley County, Bell County, Knox County. So that would be, I believe that's this cell here, Jimmy? Yeah, this cell coming out of McCreary County. So that's the, I believe that's the new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's check it out and see. Yeah, it expires at 4:15, goes out to 4:15 this afternoon for Bell, Knox, McCreary, and Whitley. And again, that flash flood warning still in effect until 6 o'clock tonight for all the counties you see there listed: Bell County, Knox County, Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley. So heavier bands of rain even moving in from the west, giving forecasters at the National Weather Service the reason to issue this warning going out to 6 o'clock for the flash flooding. And as Jim mentioned earlier, always if you come upon a situation like that, TAD is the acronym that we use to kind of get the point across for that. Turn around, don't drown. Make sure you never try to drive into any moving water at any point. It could be, even if it's just a small amount, it could still sweep you away if the conditions are right. So I always want to turn around and avoid areas that are covered in water. So we've got the severe thunderstorm warning still in effect. We're just issued for Bell, Knox, McCreary, and Whitley until 4:15. And then down here in Bell County, we still have, I believe, the tornado warning in effect until 4 o'clock. That's about 21 minutes or so now for Bell County, Knox County, Whitley County. Seeing just a sliver of that in Knox County. So, but look like the most folks are going to be affected in Bell County. Let me zoom in here to some of the communities. Pearl should be seeing the heaviest amounts of rain moving through right now, back toward Olcott, just south of 92 there, Kentucky Highway 92. Let's see if I can get a little closer. The Frakes community is kind of in the middle of this, in the thick of it, and then moving east, Highway 74 there. So you'll see all of that rain and heavy showers and thunderstorms along with that tornado warning moving to the east into Bell County, and then Middlesboro should be affected in the next little bit. So
it just continues to move right off in that area now. And what I've been looking at here while Brandon's been talking, looking at whether there was some rotation left over, and on the data that I'm looking at here coming out of one Weather Service office, one radar, some of the rotation appears to be kind of going away, and that's what we want to see. We want to see that start to die out. I'm going to have to check. I'll check some other sites because you've got to check a couple of locations. In this particular situation, because of the location of what we're looking at here, is right there in Bell County and over into Whitley County. So we can get a couple of different decent perspectives on this by checking the radar data out from the folks in both the Weather Service offices down in Morristown and also over in Jackson here in Kentucky too. So I'm looking at that, reviewing that on one of the other computers here. So you still see that there is a tornado warning posted all the way up until 4 o'clock this afternoon for Bell, Knox, and Whitley counties. Again, Knox County really not under the gun. It's mainly Bell County now, but this storm has had a history of reports of funnel clouds, large hail, everything that is kind of associated with one of these severe thunderstorms, and it continues to be that case out there right now, and that may be why that the storm is still alive here. And you've also got more activity just to the north, so not one but two rounds are going to come rolling right on through. And again, the intensity level looks to be down quite a bit. We'll look at it from two different radars. Okay, that's the beauty of having multiple radars to look at here. We can see it from different locations, different perspectives. We can see them from every way they come from. That's, again, one of the nice things of being able to see from different locations and having that live stream of radar data. You can see it from all over the place. And like this one here, this series of storms up here in Knott County, we can see a little bit better there with the Jackson radar. Heavy rain still expected, some strong winds associated with it crossing Kentucky 80 right now, so a decent thunderstorm also located in that area for us here this afternoon. And Bell County right now, we're watching that storm inch closer and closer to the city of Middlesboro, the one that possibly produced a tornado here a little while ago in different sections of Whitley County, toward Williamsburg, toward the Whitley County Airport. All of those spots, funnel clouds coming in. We heard the report that there was a funnel cloud right over the city of Williamsburg, right over the courthouse, as a matter of fact. That's where some of the folks were saying they were seeing it. And now you're looking at the cell, now trying to get closer and closer to the city of Middlesboro here very, very shortly, and looking at just a couple of spots on radar.
A new warning we've got issued here just came out, flash flood warning now for the city of, or actually the few counties up here toward seeing, okay, here we go. The flash flood warning in effect now until 6:30 tonight for this system. Southeastern Floyd County, extreme eastern Knott County, northeastern Letcher County, and southern Pike County. That's the system that that warning came from. Also, a severe thunderstorm warning issued for that one a little earlier. Expires here in the next couple of minutes if the National Weather Service decides not to extend that. But the main meat, the main chunk of the systems we've been watching this afternoon since about 2:30 is when the first warning was issued for this cell right here. Tornado warning still in effect if you're just joining us for this cell, moving through parts of western Bell County, getting close to the city of Middlesboro. That system kind of weakening a little bit throughout the afternoon, but that still doesn't mean there cannot be a tornado that comes out of this system. Doppler showing still a little bit of rotation in that, but that's why the warning has not been allowed to expire at this point. The system right behind it moving in through portions of McCreary County into Whitley County and back toward Knox County. That's a pretty good little system there as well, and there's a severe thunderstorm warning for that system for Bell, Knox, McCreary, and Whitley until 4:15, so about 30 minutes on that one, and then a flash flood warning for the next couple hours for all the counties in this area: Bell, Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley until 6 o'clock tonight because of all the heavy rain moving through. And this is actually, this system here is the second system that it started to move through this same area right around the Williamsburg area earlier is where we saw those reports for funnel clouds, one right above the courthouse and one near the airport. That system has now since moved into Bell County and getting close to the Tennessee border. National Weather Service office in Morristown issued that severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30 from this system for Campbell, Claiborne, and Union counties down in that area. So pretty good little active day out there on the radar. We've been tracking these storms here for you all afternoon, and it looks like it may turn into a busy evening, I'm afraid, Jimmy.
That seems to be the case, buddy, with the more of these storms moving through southern Kentucky and all over eastern Kentucky. Now, getting numerous reports of flooding now over toward like Letcher County and those locations that have, you said you sent a crew out this morning, and then a lot of water issues, again, would have to be trying to show up with some of the storms that we have out there at the moment, because they are some doozies. We've got some pictures from our pictures have been coming in to Dara Reese, so who's over in that area, and we'll try to get some of those and show those to you too coming up very shortly here. Again, checking out the radar data that points out where rotation is at within some of these thunderstorms. Not exactly seeing a whole lot left over within the thunderstorm that's moving into Bell County there. It's still producing the tornado warning. It's still out, and it's got a history of maybe putting a couple of them down. We're not sure just yet. You'll have to wait and see what happens with some of the damage reports that start to come in. But this is day 2 for those folks down there in parts of Whitley County, especially, and Bell County. So still have that tornado warning running until 4 o'clock. Bell, Knox, Whitley. Again, Knox, you're in the clear. That little southern tip there, right through here. You're in the clear. It looks like for now, because that first cell has gone on past you, and it will not directly affect you now. But what we do have is another little wave sparking severe thunderstorm warnings that could bring some more heavy rain, obviously. More thunderstorm activity expected out of that. The strong stuff, the big winds, the large hail, all of these things stacked up, one right after the other through that area. And then you throw in flash flooding, and we've got a significant day of weather again out there in southern and eastern Kentucky. And it has been a very wet year, and has been just too wet of a year. I'll just be honest with you. New data coming out, so it got me a little distracted here. And the tornado warning remaining in effect, remains in effect for the sections of Bell County and parts of Whitley County up until 4 o'clock. So keeping the warning alive, the folks out of the National Weather Service in Jackson. So it may be suggesting that it will expire there at 4 o'clock. So no new extension needed. And with the way things are going, I don't think there will have to be an extension for that. You'll have to just watch the next cells that are rolling through. So if you're in Williamsburg, you just got hit a few minutes ago, guess what? You're getting ready to get hit again with this second wave, the second cell. So again, you may be dealing with a pretty strong thunderstorm that is knocking on your door right now, crossing the interstate, coming your way very shortly here. So if you're in Whitley County, Williamsburg, and some of the other locations that are under it right now, let's look at that. Some of the other locations, like you've got Highway 895, Whitetown Loop, there's Liberty Pruitt Bend Road, there's Goldbug Church Road, something we talked about earlier. And Goldbug is one of the locations where it looked like somebody may have seen a funnel cloud. So right through there, getting hit extremely hard at the moment in the city of Williamsburg. Same thing for you, coming again in a second wave, possibly not the tornadic threat, but strong winds are going to be associated with that second cell, and may want to watch some of the creeks and streams over there, because they're going to try to get up in a hurry as the severe thunderstorms, possible tornadic activity rolls on through, possibly producing tornado a little bit earlier. And here's what's left over of our cell that's where the tornado warning is at. Again, weakened quite a bit on Doppler radar, and heading right now toward the folks in the city of Middlesboro. So a storm that possibly produced a tornado earlier is on the way, Funnel clouds, let's see, from the Jackson, for the folks over the National Weather Service in Jackson, said possible funnel clouds are out there in parts of southern Kentucky. Let me check that before I go live with that. Let me check one little thing here. One little thing. Okay, not okay. All right, that may be a severe thunderstorms are moving through southern and eastern Kentucky too. You got to remember that, okay? All through that area. I was reading a report here. Some funnel clouds reported all throughout Whitley County and parts of Whitley County Airport area towards Williamsburg, right over the courthouse. That's going to be the interesting one. A lot of folks being able to see that. If it's going right over downtown Williamsburg, a lot of people probably got to see it. So if you got to see it, relay that information to the appropriate folks. If you've got pictures, videos, whatever it may be, email it to us here at the station, weather at WYMTnews.com. Real simple. Just remember weather and then at WYMTnews.com. So just send that right on. Just send that right on to the folks here at the station. We'll try to check that out, review it, maybe get it up on the air coming up a little bit later when we get the chance to kind of sit down and rest our legs a little bit here. It's been a marathon run here again today with the severe weather that we've had the reports of across Whitley County, specifically Whitley County right now. That's where it looks like if anything happened, probably happened somewhere through there with all the funnel cloud reports that have rolled in here within the last little bit, and they just keep on coming. Just keep on coming here. And it looks like that could be the area directly affected. And by the time it got to Bell County, it did weaken quite a bit as a matter of fact. And right now still holding on to a warning till 4 o'clock this afternoon. But the big question is, and will it be extended? Probably not. Probably not. That rotation factor, as I mentioned a little while ago, not as stout, so to speak. It's not as intense anymore, so starting to calm down just a little bit as far as that cell is concerned. It's the next one that's rolling through Whitley County you're going to have to worry about. If you're in that area, and there's just a couple of areas of little fireballs that are going to come rolling right on through. And again, another thing we're going to have to really get concerned about will be the potential for some strong or intense thunderstorms to go up later, and flash flooding will also be a threat. Those severe thunderstorm warnings are posted here, it looks like, for you folks there in Jackson, Owsley, and Clay counties until 4:30 for this new cell up here toward the north. So that's a severe thunderstorm warning. Maybe some strong winds out of this in excess of about 60 miles per hour, I'd say. And quarter-sized hail, a great possibility. When you see those bright colors there like the purple, that's a good indication there could be some hail, intense rainfall as well. That's what we look at when we're looking for that type of data. So a couple of things going on with those thunderstorms there, and then our tornado warning that is in effect. I'm reviewing it from a couple of different weather radars here. Not as intense showing up here down there in Bell County, but warning still holding strong until 4 o'clock. That's 8 minutes from now. So we're 8 minutes away from the actual expiration time here. So we're closing in on that. Get out of the warning, I hope, and probably will. Judging by a couple of things that we've seen, it looks like we may actually get a bit of a break here in southeastern Kentucky here, or in southern Kentucky for a moment as far as that tornadic threat, but more on the way in several different locations. And I certainly appreciate photos that are starting to really trickle in here. I've got some good ones from a couple of different areas down through there in southern Kentucky, so I'll try to get those on the air. If I can't get them on at 4, I'll try to get them on at 6. But at this moment in time, it does look like we'll go ahead and have our Mountain News first at 4 here coming up here in about 8 minutes or so. So Mountain News at 4 starting within the next little bit, probably. Okay, let's see. All right, some roads. Getting a report from the public here now, from the public. Roads from Food Haven to the Chloe Lights. This is over in Pike County, by the way. Have some standing water. Della Anderson over there traveling through there says that just came through there, and some water over the roads in that area as well. Rain had been heavy at times, and she's absolutely right over there in Pike County. And by the way, an area that she just mentioned, yeah, it's certainly a location that has seen enough heavy rain here over the last little bit, and causing all kinds of problems for those folks in Pike County. So with the flash flood warning up, that's a great possibility there, and that kind of just validates the warning, which includes Greasy and looks like Shelby-Anna in that area. So flash flooding ongoing in Pike County again, and just hearing some water over the road reports. Nothing as far as homes damaged. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened, just haven't heard the reports yet. You go down into southern Kentucky, it's a different situation. You're just dealing with plain old severe weather. And okay, now I thought the new data came out for the warning, but nothing yet on this warning. We're about 5 minutes away from our tornado warning expiring down there in Bell County. 5 minutes away. That's where the cell is at. And let me switch radar sites again. This is where it's going to be. If it's anywhere left over, and just judging by some of the other data that I've looked at, that's where it's going to be at down there in southern Kentucky. So let's zoom in, try to zoom in a little bit closer so we can see what's happening with our cell in Bell County. And here we go. There we go. There you see it a little bit better. It's just approaching the city of Middlesboro. And basically what we're seeing now, just the rainfall factor. Just the rainfall factor and maybe some moderate rainfall. As far as the tornadic threat, just the tornadic threat may have gone down quite a bit here in the last few minutes as circulation and rotation going away in there in Bell County storm. This is the same one, though, that was pretty intense earlier. Had the rotation in it from Whitley County and passed possibly right over the courthouse there in Williamsburg with a funnel cloud. And now look at Williamsburg, again getting hit hard by another intense thunderstorm that is running through over in Whitley County at the moment. So we'll continue to monitor this situation and watch these very closely. Very, very closely. Severe thunderstorm warnings that are going out left and right here in many different counties across southern Kentucky. A new warning just issued for folks in southwestern Laurel, McCrary, Pulaski, Wayne, Whitley, and just several counties through there. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning. So, and where's it going to be at here? It's going to follow up the same path. And that's kind of the same one we had a little earlier, too. So severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Knox, Laurel, McCrary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley until 5 o'clock. You see the highlighted areas there. The other locations being affected down in Bell County, again, it's not as intense of a thunderstorm now. It has lost a lot of those severe weather characteristics. It has gone down quite a bit, but the warning runs until 4 o'clock here. We're at 3 minutes away. I suspect that that warning will be allowed to expire. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to give ourselves a couple of minutes here to get ready, refresh, and get ready for our newscast here that's coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll have, of course, the latest on the severe weather coming up here within the 4 o'clock news hour, and we'll watch all of these storms for the rest of the evening. We'll go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be back with First at 4 coming up in just a couple of minutes.
The cleanup continues after several rounds of severe weather, and there could be more on the way. Chief Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is tracking the storms. He'll join us with the latest watches and warnings. Hundreds rally in Frankfort for video slots at horse racing tracks in Kentucky. And President Obama wants more control over financial institutions, but companies may not be buying that. First at 4 is next.
Serving eastern and southern Kentucky for more than 20 years. Mountain News. First at 4 starts now.
Severe storms continue to pound the region. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, more tornado, severe thunderstorm, and flash flood warnings go up this afternoon in southeastern Kentucky. Chief Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has been on the air for the past hour or more. He joins us now with the very latest. Jim?
You're right, Steve. More activity just kind of getting cranked up all across southern Kentucky and now far eastern Kentucky. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, and we tracked one tornado warning, one possibly tornadic cell through Whitley County. Numerous reports of funnel clouds coming out of that. Maybe one right over the actual courthouse there in the city of Williamsburg. So a lot of people possibly seeing that, still waiting on more information coming in here over the next little bit. And they're getting hit again in Williamsburg right now. Let's go right to the live pinpoint Doppler radar so we can get you up to date on all the warnings. And there are different types. There are severe thunderstorm warnings out now, and we've also got our flash flood warnings that are posted in many locations, something that we unfortunately hear a lot of lately. It seems like every day we're hearing about at least 1 or 2 flash flood warnings. And right now, let me go into southern Kentucky again, a spot getting hit with a couple of double whammies here with the severe weather. Got severe thunderstorm warnings out for the folks there in Bell, Knox, McCreary, and Wently until 4:15. And this is a doozy of a cell as well, producing some strong winds. So it's going to be a little while for you all completely get out of the woods over there in southern Kentucky. Another cell that has a warning issued on it is for the folks in Owsley County, covering almost the entire county up here. It says it's for Clay, Jackson, and Owsley counties, specifically right now Owsley County being affected the most out of that, just south of the city of Boonville with that severe thunderstorm warning. And obviously flash flood warnings, by the way, back out there toward Bell, Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Wheatley until 6 o'clock here. You get a couple of storms like that rolling over the same real estate back to back, and you can expect all kinds of problems. And then we go over here to sections of Pike and also over into Letcher County with a flash flood warning until 6:15. And got an email a moment ago from a lady over there saying that some water was over the roads. I believe she said on Chloe Road there, or in between that and Food Haven was how she described it. So you folks over there that travel that way, near the Shelbyana from Food Haven to the Chloe Lights, some standing water, so dealing with that. And let me real quickly here show you one more cell that's located there in the northern parts of Floyd County, crossing over into Pike County. Pretty intense itself. Doesn't look like there's an active warning on that right now, but an intense cell nonetheless moving through that region again. And everybody under flash flood watch for the next few hours here. And you've also got severe thunderstorm watch also posted. Been kind of swamped here with severe weather, so graphics, I'm throwing them together as we speak, Steve, trying to get everything so we can show you in a full weather forecast here coming up in a few minutes. And we're going to try to get some more things out there for you here within the hour.
Jim, I was worried it was going to be another bad day because I came to work, the sun was out, it was so muggy, and you just knew that something was going to happen.
When I left here this morning for Mountain News this morning, it's starting to get that muggy feel to it. So there's a lot of juice in the atmosphere, and that's one of those things you need on a day like today for this weather to exist.
And unfortunately, these storms are not going to die out anytime soon, it looks like, right?
Unfortunately, you're right. It looks like more thunderstorms are going to continue to roll right along here for the next few hours.
Okay, we'll keep watching it, and we'll get back to you as needed, Jim. Thank you very much. Well, people across the state are cleaning up today after a strong line of storms rolled through last night. An eyewitness captured a video of a possible funnel cloud from his home in Laurel County. There are multiple reports of trees and power lines down in several counties from each round of storm that rolls through. Many are still without power in parts of southeastern Kentucky as well. There are also reports of a possible tornado touching down in Lewis County. The hardest hit area was Tollsboro in northeastern Kentucky. 911 dispatchers say a few trailers were blown off their foundations and a number of trees were blown down. A building was also hit hard by the storms. No injuries are reported there. And this reminder, we have crews across the region gathering storm damage information. We had a crew in Pulaski County earlier today. We had a crew covering some pretty serious flash flooding, we understand, down in Letcher County this morning. We will have those reports to you tonight at 6 o'clock. Also, Jeff Allen down in Bell County, as he was last night, with some new storm damage information. So all of that coming up later tonight at 6 o'clock. And again, we'll get back to Jim Caldwell as needed throughout this newscast.
And now, Sky Alert weather featuring Pinpoint Doppler, Eastern and Southern Kentucky's most dependable forecast. Sponsored by Community Trust Bank, building communities built on trust.
And as we mentioned a little while ago, the severe weather continuing to roll through southern Kentucky here. New tornado warning issued for the same piece of real estate, seeing it a little while ago. Let's go straight to the live Pinpoint Doppler radar. I've got the vital information already posted up there. It's for the folks in Bell, Knox, and Whitley counties again. Okay, another tornado warning for the southeastern corner of the county and through parts of basically the same areas that were affected a little while ago. You're getting it again here. Let me show you why. It's a very intense thunderstorm that just kind of really got kind of crazy here within the last little bit. And as far as why it was issued, it looks like the folks over there at the National Weather Service in Jackson saw some rotation on that here during the last little bit. Enough rotation to spark a tornado warning. And now that's what we've got there again for Knox, Bell, and Whitley counties. All right, let's go in a little closer here and show you what we're talking about and why we're getting the tornado warning that we're getting here in that area and who's being affected. You see the little green splotch. I've been talking about that. If you're just joining us for the first time, there's some data that we look at that will indicate if there's some rotation, and that's the data that says, yeah, there is some rotation right through there. So we've got some rotation within this thunderstorm that's moving in the same real estate over the same spots again. This time, southeastern Whitley County seeing it first. That's where the warning was issued first for this one earlier. It just kind of moved all across the county. This one stretches from there all the way down to the city of Middlesboro, and it's pretty intense and will likely keep those characteristics for quite some time now. The atmosphere probably feeding this one a lot. I mean, a lot. So we go through time here. You're going to be under the gun here for the next little bit, it looks like, if you're down there in southeastern Whitley County or over into Bell County. For the folks that have yet to see this severe thunderstorm, like Pearl, Bruden, some of these locations, get into a safe location right now. Don't risk it. It's too dangerous. This is a very, very dangerous situation there in southern Kentucky. You want to be in that safe location as quickly as you possibly can get there. That's where you want to be at. Guys, on my other weather computer, I've got the tips already pulled up for you. If you just throw those up on the other weather computer, we'll get those up and we'll pass that information along to the folks out there watching at home. Again, we've got some severe weather tips on the other weather computer here. There we go. Get to a basement or the lowest point of your home. If you're in Bell County right now, this is what you need to go ahead and start doing. Put your plan into motion. Go to a basement, the lowest point of your home, an interior hallway or room. Stay away from your windows. Again, we know how easily they can be broken. Debris comes flying through them, runs into a whole world of problems. And then, of course, abandoned mobile homes, easily picked up, thrown around. When we talk about this type of severe weather situation, when you're talking about tornadoes, this is what we mean. This means business out there. And again, this is just the second round. Williamsburg, by the way, third round for you coming through right now. That's not a tornado or a tornadic storm right now. But what you are getting is you're going to get another real shot of severe weather. There you see the live Pinpoint Doppler once again, and it's going to be blasting through there for you folks. Now, another concern is the folks there in Middlesboro. We're talking about highly populated areas where people are going to be just getting off of work here within the next little bit. So if you know somebody in the city of Middlesboro, tell them that there is a very strong thunderstorm that could be knocking on their door very soon, and they need to take shelter immediately. What's happened with the storms here in the last little bit, this one in particular, if you notice our warning track on it, our warning track suggests that the storm is moving more easterly as opposed to southeasterly earlier. So with that being said, we'll throw a little storm track out on this one, highlight some of the locations, and give you the vital information on what we expect out of this cell. So if we take it out into the future here, people affected there, 196. That's how specific we can get. This is moving east right now at around, looks like, let's throw another track up there. It's not moving at 40, it's moving at around 25. So we'll take over the next half hour at 25 miles per hour. There you see some of the locations affected, about 9,500 people affected here in Pruden, Clear Creek Springs, Binghamton, all of those locations under the gun here very shortly. This tornado warning running all the way out until 5 o'clock. So we've got to track the storm for a little while longer. It looked like a little earlier near Gatliff there in Whitley County, there was a rotation strong enough to possibly be producing this tornado. So that's what kind of sparked the warning. No visual confirmation of this one, and unlike some of the others, a lot of people, trained weather spotters, saying, "Hey, I see a tornado," you know, and passing the information along. But not this case, not this time. We're looking at some very different data now. We're just looking at the way it spins in the atmosphere, okay? And when we get that, and that circulation starts to show up, we track those storms, and it could certainly be producing a tornado here for the folks, again, in Whitley County and stretching over into Bell County, because that's the way the storm is turning. And again, I want to stress you folks here in Whitley County not seeing the actual tornadic storm, but you're going to get hit again with another intense thunderstorm over there in the city of Williamsburg. And the city of Williamsburg, it's going to come blowing through there one more time, it looks like, for you all. Maybe a couple more times, but one decent time here as far as the level of intensity that's going to try to sweep through there. So just be on your toes, be on your guard, because we've got some very intense thunderstorms, again, moving through southern Kentucky here in Whitley County, and now going over to Bell County. You see I've got the storm track still laid out, so you can see who's going to be affected here. And as that storm kind of changes, some of those locations might drop off too, because it'll go live. It'll kind of track all of that activity live and on the air. While I'm reviewing some other data here, I'll just leave that storm track alone so you folks can just see where it is headed here over the next 30 minutes. Again, that's right around 30 minutes at the current rate of speed that it was detected at, moving around 25 miles per hour. So with that moving off toward the east at around 25 miles per hour, it's a slow mover. So that means a lot of heavy rain will also be associated with it, already with flash flood warning in effect for that area. And now dealing with another tornado warning, possible tornado in this area, the southeastern corner of Whitley County, heading over toward Middlesboro. So if you're in Middlesboro, be prepared for the possibility of a tornado coming your way very soon, my friends, because this one looks pretty intense, much like the other one did early in the early goings of its development in Whitley County. And they'll continue to line up one right after the other. This is kind of the training effect we talk about when we talk more about the flooding threat. Boom, boom, boom. You've got one cell, you got more cells right through here. You got another area of heavy precipitation, one right after the other, right after the other. So flash flooding, high possibility in southern Kentucky here this afternoon. And just to quickly go over some of the other storms, because we do have some more real quick. A storm approaching the city of Jackson, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Breathitt County there. And I'll get the information out on it. Breathitt, Lee, and Asley, that runs until 5 o'clock as well. And this storm just kind of chugging right along toward the city of Jackson, it looks like here, because it started off a little earlier over toward far eastern sections of Jackson County, now moving toward the actual city of Jackson over in Breathitt County. And other warnings out are what you'll see here will be the 2 flash flood warnings out for Letcher and Pike County, and some reports coming in over there. A lot of folks saying some flooding in the Fleming Neon area, so a pretty rough situation there as well. And then another intense thunderstorm up here in northern Pike County, the northwestern corner. You're seeing it right there as it continues to move off. Nothing warning worthy out of that just yet, but I'm sure they're watching that one as they're watching many of these other storms as they've gone up here in the last little bit. Let's again zoom a little tighter here to see who's directly being affected. That's comforting right there. See a large area, no roads, possibly lowly populated area. That's some positive news there in that part of Whitley County. And then you go over here into Bell County, where it's a very different situation, more roads. Population starts to increase, especially where this storm is headed, and that's headed right toward the city of Middlesboro. So if you're over there in Middlesboro, you need to get into your safe location there. And Jeff Allen, if you're listening to this right now and in your bureau, you want to pay attention to the weather situation personally, my friend, because it could be heading your way very shortly here. So you want to try to get as safe as you possibly can as well as the storms continue to develop here and move over the same real estate over and over again through, it just feels like this is deja vu. We were just doing the same situation here with a warning just a little while ago for the same areas highlighted here. Pearl, Pruden, all of these locations, I've said them numerous times here today when we've been talking about tracking these storms, because this, again, a very dangerous situation when you talk about the possibility of a tornado in any case, and that's what we've got out there, a possible tornado developing within this thunderstorm that is sweeping through Whitley County and now over into Bell County here. Again, tornado warnings issued for that, and the city of Williamsburg just now getting hit by that very intense thunderstorm. I think that's the third intense thunderstorm they've had here. This tornado warning was actually, this tornadic cell, I should say, was one that ran through Williamsburg a little while ago as a severe thunderstorm, but now, once it got down there and a little bit further away from the city, started to pick up on some rotation, and now having to deal with a possible tornado here. So I'm going to get out in front of the storm again, and there you're looking at, that is 74, some other roads that we'll plot up here on the map for you so you can see them, so you'll know exactly where this storm is headed. Go over some of them. Beans Fork, again, you saw 74 there. Some of these other roads include, there's another branch of 74, another community that I'll plot for you. And there's Laurel Fork Road. Just all of these right now need to be paying very close attention, because the storms are on the way, and it could very well possibly be producing a tornado here if you're over there in any of these locations in parts of Bell County. There you go, see it, the Laurel Fork Road. And I'm going to try to turn some of these roads so you can see how they actually run. There you see it right there from north to south with that one. And there's 74 and another road. There's 186 coming out of looks like the Middlesboro area. You see Yellow Creek, Frakes thrown in the mix here somewhere as well. So all of those folks, be careful. Get into your safe location right now. Don't wait for it. Don't wait for the storm to get up on you. You want to go ahead and get into any safe location that you can right now, because it is a very tricky situation when you start talking about this severe weather, and when you're talking about one that could be producing a tornado. It can be a life or death in a moment's notice here, and property damage and life or death. That's what we focus on here. Some reports coming out of Breathitt County, nickel-sized hail starting to fall over there. So nickel-sized hail showing up where another severe thunderstorm warning is at here this afternoon. And what we're looking at here is the tornado warning. On the backside of this, though, there's severe thunderstorm warnings issued. So anybody in Whitley County, just almost in any location, watch out, because we've got some pretty significant weather that is rolling right on through there, one right after the other. I mentioned that a little while ago. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Knox, Laurel, McCrary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley counties, and then flash flood warnings running all the way up until 6 o'clock for the same areas. They may extend that, especially if they start to see some flooding, because we've had all this intense rainfall over the last couple of hours here that just continues to push through here and dump a lot of rain. That's what these storms are notorious for, intense amounts of rainfall coming out of all of them. We look at our cell here in Bell County, and we're looking from one radar. Let me switch radars. Still looking very intense with our other radar coming out of Morristown, Tennessee. Morristown, Tennessee radar showing a very intense thunderstorm still showing up there, and the same thing out of the Jackson weather radar too, because they're showing it at a different, they're coming at it from a different angle, obviously, and they're also coming at it from a different amount of distance away from the storm. So there's some big distance between the two. So again, we get the best of both radar worlds down here, because we can look at two different ones that get a fairly good comparison of what it's actually doing there if you're in Bell County. So we've got you covered up here with radar, and we'll continue to track this storm as it moves eastward here at around 25 miles per hour. And as it's already gotten a little bit further toward the east, I'm going to lay a new storm track on it so we can see exactly where it's going and who's going to be affected here over the next 30 minutes again. It's still slowly pushing along here, kind of at around 25 miles per hour. So we'll take this out for about 30 minutes, and this is covering about 12 miles because of the speed and everything you factor in there. You can see the communities affected, 434 to 445 and 455, all of these locations. So if you're in any one of these or close to any one of these, you need to go ahead and get into your safe location here right now, basement, bottom floor of your home. Follow those safety tips. And as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead, once again, we'll put those safety tips up on the air for you. Let me pull those up, guys. There you go. If you just go ahead and take that feed of the other weather computer and throw up those safety tips. There you go. Get to the basement, the lowest point of your home. And you probably wonder why we say the lowest point of your home if you don't have that basement. You often hear us say that. If you don't have a basement, the first floor is going to be your best bet. And if you have maybe an upstairs area, you don't want to be up there. What you want to do, maybe get under the steps. If a lot of us have access to maybe a closet or something there, that generally is going to be, again, a lot of them in the middle of your home, depending on the setup of your house. So you can get in there, and that provides a little protection from anything falling from above. So if you've got that kind of setup, do that, or an interior hallway or a room. Again, you want to fortify yourself by putting more walls in between you and whatever may be outside. That could be a tornado or just some really strong winds. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside world as you possibly can. So get to that interior hallway or room. Stay away from windows. Any window that you may be passing by or trying to look out to see what's going on outside can be easily broken by flying debris. And I'm sure if there's a tornado that's out there on the ground or strong winds, there's some debris flying around, whether it be just dust particles or some other substances that may be flying, some other projectiles. You want to watch out because that could blast right through a window here and come right in on you in your home. And then, of course, the fourth tip that we've got is abandoned mobile homes. And by abandoning mobile homes, you want to get out of that because it's so easily picked up and thrown around. A mobile home can be picked up. I often refer to this as a child will pick up a Hot Wheels car and pick it up right off of wherever it may be playing and throw it around. A tornado can also do that to your car and also to a mobile home. So again, you want to try to abandon those right now and get to a safer location. If you're close to one, maybe a neighbor's house has a basement, and if you can get there within a minute or less, I say get over there as quickly as you possibly can, especially if you're still in Middlesboro, because you've still got a little lead time on this storm because we're tracking it well before it even enters your area. So it's not even knocking on your door just yet. It's close. It's coming up the walkway, and it's looking right there at the front door, and it's coming toward you. So if you're sitting over there, be careful. Get into a safe location right now. And then just follow those tips that you see on your screen. Let's jump back to the live pinpoint Doppler, where, again, as mentioned, I'm tracking that storm right now in western Bell County. Western Bell County. This does not include the city of Pineville. I want to throw that out there. So you folks here in Pineville, you're fine right now. This storm's just for the southern section of the county, sweeping toward the city of Middlesboro. Sweeping toward the city of Middlesboro. So anywhere in that area right now under the gun. And just one more time, let me throw another storm track out as it's still moving around 25 miles per hour. And I'll take you out over the half hour, over a half hour here. And there you see some of the locations, including the city of Middlesboro, just not showing up there on the exact storm track due to the positioning of it. But city of Middlesboro also included in the storm track overall here within the next 30 minutes. Within the next 30 minutes here, there in southern Bell County, Middlesboro specifically, and some of the other locations there right along 190. That's coming out of Whitley County a little while ago, and now continuing to grow and intensify over the last little bit. Rotation indicated on Doppler radar has not been spotted or a funnel cloud spotted in association with that one. But again, you want to pay attention to the weather situation there and pay attention very closely here as we go through time. Looks like we've got some other warnings that have been issued. Some large hail coming out of the Breathitt County storm that we're looking at right there. I'll jump around for just a moment, then we'll get back to the very dangerous situation that's also ongoing in Bell County. But Breathitt County, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning, and I often say this, it's nothing to laugh at or nothing to kind of downplay, because the winds, very intense winds could be associated with it. Large hail, I've seen reports of nickel-sized hail coming out of it. and more nickel-sized tail, it looks like, again, coming out of it, so, or to dime-sized. So there you have a very intense thunderstorm crossing along, is that 15 there? Yeah, that's 15. It'll be coming your way very shortly toward Lost Creek, to Watts, to Ned, Wolf Cove, passing right over your heads right now with that severe thunderstorm warning. And that part of the coverage area here, Breathitt-Lee and Owsley up until 5 o'clock. Up until 5 o'clock with that warning, though I think Owsley, let me back out just a little bit. Owsley, you're in the clear for the moment. Just had that one storm roll through there a little earlier. Got a decent little cell also in the northern part of the county. You can kind of see it. I'm highlighting it a little bit there with the live pinpoint Doppler. All right, some information now coming in, some new information coming in. Looks like rotation factor is still there in the Bell County storm, so I'll jump back down there. And flooding, too, a big concern that I have right now in all of these locations. Numerous flash flood warnings have also been posted for several counties here. And we'll get back to that here in just a brief moment. But still dealing with that tornado warning there in Bell County. Let me just kind of highlight some of the places that are officially under that warning. You see No Town to Yellow Creek, Meldrum, again, all in the warning, all under where the warning is at. Weather Service no longer issues warnings for entire counties. They issue it for storm cells and where they're going. So this could very well be where it's headed in many of these locations you're seeing. My best bet is it'll sweep across the southern sections of the county. So if you're down through here toward Yellow Creek, Pruden, any of those locations, that's where it's probably going to be at. And again, that does include Middlesboro. And as you see there, pretty large, pretty populated, a lot of streets, a lot of land covered up by just Middlesboro all alone by itself. That is coming in that direction here. A couple more places now showing up as I zoomed in tighter. Premier, Stony Fork Junction coming up on the map now. On the map, that's what it's showing. Some of the other roads through southern Bell County. I'm not wanting to exactly plot right at the moment. What was that right there? That's there you see another location. Also starting to show up right off of 74 down there. Off of 74 in Bell County. All right, let me back out again here and see where the cell's at. There you go. Let me go back in time here just a little bit so we can see what's been going on over the last, I want to see the trajectory of the storm. There goes the first storm through a little while ago, and here comes the second storm. It's got more of a southeasterly turn to it, so with that being said, if it doesn't turn back toward just due east, it may miss the city of Middlesboro. So the warning may be extended for the folks down there across the border into parts of Tennessee for you folks. So it may come out in a different way. It already may have done that. Let me pull the radar data down there. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect, but it just in the last little bit more of a southeasterly turn to it as opposed to just straight up easterly. And if it gets out of here, we may actually be able to cut away from coverage here for a little while. We do have numerous thunderstorms out there that could go tornadic and at any time. Remember that. They could go at any time, but there comes another severe thunderstorm warning out for Tennessee. But we'll cut away and try to get some of the information together and assess what exactly is going on. But right now, that warning, that active warning that's pretty much in effect for Bell County, technically speaking in effect for Whitley County and south central Knox counties, but really in effect for, looks like the folks over there in Bell County right now. Looks like it may cross the border and go on over into Tennessee here, where could produce some tornado down there or some very strong winds. Large hail also associated with this storm, moving southeast now at around, looks like 20 miles per hour. So with that, as the weather changes, we can change tracks. And we'll take you out over the next 30 minutes just to see who's included in parts of Kentucky. It'll just show a couple of places probably. There you go. So there's some of the locations that it could affect out in southern Bell County as it crosses now over into Tennessee, and where a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for the folks there in Claiborne County until 5:30 for the folks in Claiborne County, Tennessee. So it continues to barrel off toward the south and east here. You got another decent cell moving in southern Whitley County. That sparked more warnings across the border there. into other sections of Tennessee. You're looking at Campbell and Scott County with severe thunderstorm warnings as well. And another warning coming out for another cell altogether in northern parts of Pulaski County, Rockcastle County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with strong winds, probably, I'll tell you, could get all the way up to 70 miles per hour. $half sized hail possible within this severe thunderstorm warning that now runs through 5:30 for Pulaski and Rockcastle counties. One of many warnings ongoing. And don't forget, we have flash flood warnings that are also running in several of the same counties here this afternoon, like for the city of Somerset. Got that flash flood warning in effect until 6 o'clock for Bell, Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley counties. A big swath, a big chunk of land covered up by the flash flood warnings there. And then you also go over here toward parts of, looks like Knott County now included in on that, and Floyd County, a new warning out for that area, or new to us, that we've mentioned on the air, with flash flood warnings in effect until 6:30. I think it started out with just Letcher and Southern Pike, but now included in on that will be Knott County and also parts of Floyd County in on our new flash flood warnings that are posted over there. And again, they're not really new. I think they've been out for a little while, but new to our coverage here that we've been talking about. So a very active weather day, a very active weather week so far for us here in southern and eastern Kentucky as these storms continue to roll right along, producing damaging winds, large hail, and some of the same pieces of real estate hit yesterday, hit again today here, that being Whitley County and Bell County. Almost out of Bell County, though, the cell that may have produced a tornado. It was indicated on Doppler radar a little bit earlier, and it's moving now off toward the south and toward the east. Could be out of the county very shortly here, and if that's the case, we'll cut away with our coverage just as soon as it looks like it's cleared the warned area, and it's getting very close to that. Now, that doesn't mean more warnings couldn't pop up, more tornadic warnings, because they certainly could here within the next few hours, and we'll be watching them as they do so. And you see the data sweep updating. Let me switch to the Morristown radar and see what it's showing us out of that cell. Showing it a little intense. Here comes the sweep, pulling it down into Tennessee also. So Tennessee also dealing with that intense thunderstorm, possibly producing a tornado. And you got another cell right there along Interstate 75. Getting ready to cross over to Tennessee there from Whitley County, so one of many that we have that have fired up here over the last several hours. Fellas, let's go over to the radar loop I've got going on the other computer. That way we can kind of show the folks how it's been going throughout the day today, just in the same area as yesterday, one right after the other. Now, what you're going to notice off back toward the north and west of Somerset is more thunderstorms starting to pop up, starting to develop, and sweep toward southeastern Kentucky. And as they do that, we'll start to see probably more warnings issued and the growing flood concern here in eastern Kentucky because the ground is super saturated. That's probably the best way to describe it with all the rain that we've had here lately. You just factor in a couple days this week, and we've had all kinds of new water going right back into the ground, sparking more in the way of flash flood warnings and just really heightening the concern for the potential of some significant weather. So that's something we'll have to pay attention to here very shortly as well. We're already looking at some flash flood warnings over there in a few counties, reports of a lot of high water in Letcher County, Fleming Neon, and some of those locations. And more thunderstorms on the way for us here within the next few hours. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 8 o'clock, by the way, for most of us here in southern and eastern Kentucky. All right, let's go back to the pinpoint Doppler itself, where we're sitting and watching the live sweep come in and watching the strong thunderstorms move out of Bell County, which would be some welcome news to kind of get it out of there and weaken some. And it has weakened to some degree. The first storm has. The second storm there in Whitley County, though, is still pretty intense. Large hail I expect out of that, and strong winds coming right out of southern Whitley County going off into the areas of Tennessee. So there's that storm along Interstate 75, and it looks like it's been trying to pull more off toward the east, here in the last little bit as it develops and continues to work its way across Whitley County, pulling more toward the east in the last few minutes here, it looks like. just according to the radar data, and watching how it updates and how it sweeps and where it kind of pushes that off to. And that could be the location where we start to see get hit again and again, just one right after the other. That's kind of the case that it has been throughout the day. Just updating some more information here. Let's see. Oh, let's go back to that. Severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Breathitt, southeastern Lee, and Owsley counties now canceled. You see the cell right there? It's canceled. So that's a positive thing out of a mess of everything else. That's a positive thing. We're losing at least one warning. Let's see. Thunderstorms over there toward Bell, McCrary, Whitley, Wayne, Knox, Laurel, Pulaski counties, where the flash flood warnings are currently at. Well, a series of them. Up to maybe 3 inches of rain per hour. Thunderstorms through there. That's what they're dumping. Up to 2 to 3 inches of rain per hour. So creeks, streams, roads, roadside culverts, some of those things, rain can really start to fill those up in a hurry. So flash flooding, a big concern now that some of the severe weather is starting to calm down. And at 4:41, law enforcement reporting golf ball sized hail on Wolf Creek Road in Whitley County. And yeah, I'd say that's a pretty accurate statement there with that intense cell that's moving through Whitley County. The reason we're still on the air with some of the coverage is because we do have an intense thunderstorm that was moving through Bell County a little while ago, sparking a tornado warning, and that tornado warning was set to go all the way out to 5 o'clock. Now it's crossing the border. That cell is getting out of there, so we'll just wait and see what Weather Service officials who handle and maintain issuing all warnings. We'll wait and see exactly what they're going to do with the warning. They'll probably let it go away, and severe thunderstorm warnings may kind of cover up the rest of that area here over the next little bit, because still with a pretty intense thunderstorm coming out of southern Whitley County, with that still in the area, that still warrants enough, especially after reading that report we just got here of golf ball sized hail on Wolf Creek Road over in Whitley County. That'll keep a severe thunderstorm warning up all day, because that's one of the criteria you need. You need that large hail, and you just think of a golf ball, and you think of that falling from the sky at 70, 80 miles per hour, maybe even higher than that, just depending on how large it is. You just think of that falling from the sky at that rate of speed. That's going to cause a lot of damage itself, just dealing with significant hail size there too. One more warning also in effect here. We mentioned a moment ago, it's for you folks there in Pulaski County, the northeastern sliver of it, and over into Rockcastle County. It's a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30. So it's still looking at around 45 minutes of a warning time for you all over there, as it's kind of coming out of a couple of the counties out there in southern Kentucky. Let me pull up the data. There you go. I switched radars, but coming just out of Stanford there and moving off toward the south and east. And again, that little sliver of a couple of the counties there, right there through Pulaski and Rockcastle County. That's who's being directly affected here at the moment. Tornado warning still out there. Set to expire at 5 o'clock. We're at 4:48. It'll probably go away early because, again, the main threat, the storm cell, seems to be pulling out of Bell County and going off toward the south and east. So just waiting on the official confirmation from Weather Service officials to pull that warning down. So we'll wait and watch for that. No new warnings out anywhere else other than what we've been talking about toward Somerset and toward Williamsburg, Whitley City, and Middlesboro through that area. That's the only active warnings that we have, other than the flash flood warnings that are out, which again causing all kinds of problems, as we mentioned a little bit earlier over there in Letcher County, toward the Fleming and Neon area. We've had some pictures, reporters over there, and just waiting on that and seeing. Let's see, pictures of the river rising. Let's see, I've got some pictures here over in Pike County too. Well, just checking my email here, and interesting pictures of the water going up over there in a couple of different areas. Again, they've been hit so hard here lately with all the flooding in Pike County. Near the Robinson Creek. I got some pictures there. Try to get those up. And remember, you can always submit your pictures to our web channel, WYMTnews.com. You can throw them up on WYMTnews.com at Eyewitness. Go over there, and you can also submit them there and put them in a library for many folks to see. We go check those too and grab them. So you can also submit them there when you are trying to get them up onto the web channel. A little quicker too. Could really run right along for you too, as far as getting up and immediately on the website into a little slideshow and just a photo album that we have, again, on WYMTnews.com. Still looking at the tornado warning there in Bell County. The main threat has moved south of the area. Not seeing anything that indicates that there could still be a tornado in that location right now. Waiting on some official reports to come in, or the official expiration or cancellation of the warning that was set to run all the way through 5 o'clock here. And we're sitting right now at 4:50, 10 minutes till, with more severe thunderstorms out there. But with the actual cell that possibly produced a tornado starting to pull out of our area, and severe thunderstorm warnings issued for it. It was cruising right through here, but now not the case, getting kind of out into Tennessee. With that being mentioned, and the alert area kind of cleared for now, what I am going to do is, officially it hasn't gone down yet, but it will, because there's nothing left there. So this warning will go down here momentarily for the folks in Bell County. So if you're waiting on that to clear the county, you're in good shape now, because it has. The only thing is, it's on record, officially still up. But what I suspect is here very soon, that tornado warning that you're looking at will go away, and just possibly still be dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning, with the other storms kind of creeping along from Whitley County. So you could still be dealing with that. So with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut away, because again, it has cleared the warned area. The cell is out of Bell County. It's down into Tennessee now, and it's not as impressive as it was. And I'm looking at it from a couple different radars, not as stout. So what we are going to do, we're going to go ahead and we'll cut away. It's set to go off at 5 o'clock technically. Maybe they'll let it ride out. I'm not sure. Maybe they'll go ahead and cancel it a little bit early, but so far it's still up. But again, clear the area now for you folks there in Bell County. We'll get you back into regular scheduled programming here, and 27 News First obviously be on the air here at 5 o'clock as well. And we'll be back here at 6 o'clock. We may cut in to 27 News First if the weather situation starts to get kind of iffy around here too. So we'll be right back. We'll be back with the 27 News First at 5, and if necessary, we'll be back on the air for you coming up shortly. Just continues to cause problems out in southern Kentucky. Brand new tornado warning now in effect. Let's go to the live pinpoint Doppler radar, where we're going to zoom in on southern Kentucky. A location has been hit time after time after time, over and over again, with severe weather here just today, yesterday. I mean, it's just been one right after the other. It's just unbelievable right now how much we keep seeing some of the same old things happening here, but the atmosphere is right. The spin is in the atmosphere, and that's what we've got here. We've got a tornado warning now in effect for a few counties down here in parts of McCreary County, and it also goes over into Whitley County. I'll change my warning data around a little bit so we can highlight specific areas that are going to be under the gun with this severe thunderstorm, possibly producing a tornado here. So let me, I'll adjust some of this. You got a tornado warning until 7:30. 7:30 here this evening. It's 6:54 right now. And let me turn this one off, and we should be setting sail here very, very soon. There you see the area highlighted with the tornado warning stretching through Whitley City toward Pine Knot and parts of, get this, Whitley County again. I think this is the third tornado warning they've had today. Maybe a fourth. I can't remember right off the top of my head. They issued 2 different warnings earlier, and then another one. So there's probably 3 or 4 warnings out now just for parts of Whitley County. McCrary been right in the thick of it as well with all the warnings that we've had over the last several hours here. So possibility of a tornado now in McCrary County here. Doppler radar indicated there could be one just to the north of Whitley City here, the county seat over there in McCrary County. And then it's going to possibly stretch off toward the south and east at around 15 miles per hour. 15 miles per hour. And that means it's just kind of snailing along here. And it's trying to cruise over there with the possibility of golf ball sized hail, straight line winds, and of course you factor in that there could be a tornado embedded within this thunderstorm. So the severe weather just will not give it a rest out there today, and we're dealing with more of it here right along US 27. And we'll zoom in here in just a moment and show you what's going on with the severe thunderstorm possibly producing a tornado. There it is, up close and personal, and getting a little lag time here with the radar, so I apologize. I can move it around a little bit right over Marsh's siding, and we'll go a little bit closer to a couple of communities here and show you exactly who's being affected directly along US 27. You see US 27 there.
Jim, it's the same area as kind of being hit over and over again today, isn't it?
It is, one right after the other. These storms continue to just pound and pound and pound the same locations again, time and time again. There we go, Marsh's sighting. Now we're seeing some movement here on our radar, having to bounce around a little bit. So it's been overwhelmed with processing of some data here today, and as it should be, because we've certainly had a lot going on through McCrary County, Whitley County all day long here since about 2:30. Whitley City under the gun. If you're in Whitley City, know anybody there, they're dealing with a doozy right now. And then other parts of McCrary County. And then what we expect it to do, you'll notice here with the actual warning, the way the warning is laid out, you can see that it goes through parts of Whitley County too. Just a little chunk taken out just toward the west of the city of Williamsburg for that part of the warning. But right now it's bearing down on parts of McCrary County here, and it will continue to move off toward the south and east at around 15 miles per hour. 15 miles per hour, not exactly a fast speed. So what can happen here is we can run into some issues that just the heavy rain alone, already under flash flood warnings through this area. So more problems. They just keep escalating here as far as what the weather's doing. Now, I haven't seen anything on the ground or any confirmation of any major damage just yet out of anything that's happened here today, but that doesn't mean it won't be on the horizon here and couldn't be coming up here very, very shortly. So if you are in this area, if you're in this area, let's check out our tornado tips that we've got up for you. Get to a basement or the lowest point of your home, interior hallway or a room on the bottom floor of your house. Now, if you get into that basement, just sit tight and get under maybe a workbench, a table, something that you got's really, really sturdy. Add some protection from the possibility of falling debris above your head, because as the tornado, if there is one, as it goes by, it can start to pull the house apart and the debris starts to fall towards you. So that's why we say get to a basement or the lowest point of your home, and the interior hallway or room on the bottom floor of your house. What that does for you is that kind of puts you in the middle of the home, the solid structure. You fortify yourself a little bit there, so you've built yourself a fort by putting more walls between you and the outside world. And then stay away from windows, easily penetrated, and debris can fly through those. And then, of course, abandoned mobile homes due to the high risk of possibly being picked up and tossed around here. So just keep all of that in mind here this evening here with this latest tornado warning, and obviously some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect around it too. And I'll let Brandon tell them what's going on with that severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, Jim, what we've got now, several things going on here. We just actually got a flash flood warning for this area. I believe it just went out, let me check the data on that, till 9 o'clock tonight. That's for McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley counties in conjunction along with the tornado warning. Now it goes, I believe, until, was it 7:30 before, Jim? Yeah, I believe 7:30 for
Yeah.
McCreary and Whitley, and the severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley for about 15 minutes until 7:15 going out. So I believe this is only the third tornado warning we've had today, but these systems are staying together so long and showing so much punch, so to speak, that a lot of the same areas are being affected over a longer period of time. So you tie that in with a lot of rain, you get that flash flooding, and then you get the effect of the the rotation in the atmosphere also creating some damage too with the winds out there. So it's just turning into a little bit of a dicey night out there for some folks. But yeah, the area we're looking in right now, focusing on southern Kentucky, right around McCreary and Whitley counties, a tornado warning in effect until 7:30. And for McCreary and Whitley counties, and flash flood warning now in effect until 9 o'clock for those 4 counties you see listed there: McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning to tell you about in McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley for about the next 15 minutes.
A new note just handed to me here. This is kind of off what we're talking about a little bit, but state of emergency declared now in Letcher County due to the flooding that has occurred over there. So state of emergency declared now in Letcher County, and they've seen quite a bit of rain. We've seen some pictures. We had some video. We've got all of that getting together, and just a terrible situation over there. Other than just what we're dealing with here in southern Kentucky, this is going to run through here and be finished by 7:30. Then we'll assess damage. These folks over there, they're going to be cleaning up for a while as well,
right,
in Letcher County with that high water threat.
Let's zoom out just a little bit here and head over that way and kind of see what they're dealing with now. It looks like at this point, all those showers and thunderstorms we saw moving through that area now have died down. It's just kind of heavier bands of rain. All the severe weather looks like it's hugging the Tennessee and Virginia borders down here in southern and southeastern Kentucky. And especially, we're kind of keeping an eye on this region here with that tornado warning in effect. And now until 7:30 for those 4 counties you see listed there: McCreary, actually 3 counties: McCreary, Whitley, and it's confusing me, but
it's doing the double whammy here again.
But McCreary and Whitley until 7:30 in the tornado warning there. So
that's who's got the warning out right now. And again, moving very slowly off toward the south and east at around 20 miles per hour. So what we'll do is we'll take this cell and we'll track exactly what it's going to be doing here and see who's going to be affected. So we'll adjust some speeds here and we'll change it around a little bit to 20 miles per hour and take this cell off toward the south and east over the next, I'll go 30 minutes here. 30 minutes because we're close. That's close to the expiration time, yeah. So Bounty, Ayers, Emmeline, right around 5,096, almost 5,100 people affected in the path of this storm as it moves south and east here over the next 30 minutes. You're looking at all the way up to 7:31 where this storm cell should be going. We've got another radar device that we can use, some things with our radar that will take us out into the future and show you what the cell should go through. Now, again, this is not a substitute for the storm track, but what I can do with you now is I can take us out 30 minutes from right now and show you where the storm is going or where the data suggests that it may be turning to. And you can kind of see pulling south and east right there. It's this cell that we're looking at right there. That's the one we're focusing on. Again, I'll bring it back to current time and we'll take it again into the future for the next 30 minutes diving through the western sections of Whitley County. So that's the kind of half-hour radar, future rad's what it's called, and you kind of got to see what it's going to be doing here in the next 30 minutes. We'll go back to live mode here with the radar, the live pinpoint Doppler radar. And let me check it out from another sweep as well down there in Tennessee. Not exactly.
That looks defined there.
Looks almost looks like they may be offline down there. Could be. Well, they've had some severe weather go through. Yeah,
like.
The sweep is stalled out due to.
So we've lost Morristown there.
Lost Morristown apparently a while back here, but Jackson's still up and at 'em. It's good to have those 2 different perspectives, but we'll keep the one we've got for sure, no doubt. Tornado warning still in effect there in McCreary and parts of Whitley County. And again, if you're in these warned areas, you want to go ahead and take precautions to keep yourself and your family safe. Getting to the basement, the lowest point of your home, whether that be a basement or the first floor of your home, and kind of put more walls in between you and the outside world as you possibly can. So this continues to be the big weather threat out there now. I believe when this works its way through, there should be a pretty calm period. But the problem is we may do this again tomorrow in many areas that do not need to see heavy rainfall or severe weather. We may have to do it all again tomorrow. And if we do that, it's it's untelling how much damage we can end up with before it's all said and done. We see Duck Run there. Looks like that's on the border, and it is. Duck Run, if you know someone over there, let them know what's coming their way quickly. If you know they might be out and about, give them a quick call on the cell phone, whatever it may be. I encourage cell phone usage during this time because it's not directly attached to the phone lines outside. And if they're directly attached to the phone lines outside, it has a better chance of coming through the phone and through the house and hitting you. So just keep that in mind. Some of the area roads there in Whitley County to be affected: Little Cane Creek Road, is that Hall Branch Road, Little Wolf Creek Road, Rhines Creek Road. It's State Highway 1898, and then that larger road there moving through the middle of the screen. I'll plot another little thing there. 92. It's 92. There's Newman Campbell Road, and there's just the northern part of Becks Creek Road, and this is all just to the south and west of the city of Williamsburg, where earlier today reports of funnel clouds right over the courthouse as a series of storms actually rolled through there. They had a couple of doozies pass right through parts of northern Whitley County and over into McCreary County at that time as well. So all of you folks that we just mentioned there, all those roads, go ahead and get into a safe location because this storm located now just to the east of Whitley City, it has the potential to possibly produce a tornado and push that tornado out onto the ground. And what that means is you need to take those safety tips we talked about: basement, lowest point of your home, abandoned mobile homes, all of those things. Take those to heart right now because it's a very dangerous situation, and it continues to get that way anytime we talk about the potential of a severe thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. And when the rotation starts to show up, it's one of those signatures you have to see. And then the folks at the Weather Service to issue tornado warnings for that. And I'll let Brandon talk a little more. I'm going to check some radar data over here on another computer.
I think what a lot of people tend to forget once these warnings are over, the active severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings, is the threat is not over. That doesn't necessarily mean the fact that these storms aren't still powerful or there couldn't be afterward flooding associated with those. So even once these warnings expire, especially in storm systems like this, you need to still be on the lookout to be careful, to watch out for standing water or even, water roadways, things like that. And, there's still a possibility for lightning in storms like this. But obviously, what we like to, or what we don't like to see is the chance for any kind of tornado. But, we're here with you tonight tracking these storms in southern Kentucky. And as we were talking about earlier, it's kind of the same area being affected by this same weather pattern we've seen all day long. Southern Kentucky, Whitley County's been through several storm systems this afternoon, a couple of tornado warnings now, and we're seeing that pattern kind of stay to the south. But even up here in far eastern Kentucky, we've seen our share of storms today too. Several severe thunderstorm warnings issued. No tornado warnings up here in eastern Kentucky yet. It seems like they're staying off to the south and to the southeast, but doesn't diminish the fact that these people here are in a very dangerous situation right now. So, like Jimmy said, those folks in those areas definitely need to be taking cover and going to their safe spots and kind of waiting this thing out as it's moving to the southeast there, about 20 miles an hour, and going out. That warning, the tornado warning's in effect for about 22 more minutes for those folks down there in western Whitley, well, all of Whitley, but looks like the bulk of the storm right now is in western Whitley, coming through just west of Williamsburg and into portions of McCreary County there, just east of Whitley City. So several flash flood warnings up still. Just getting some new data here. It looks like the severe thunderstorm warning for east central Wayne and south central Pulaski counties has been canceled. So that's some good news. That doesn't mean the storms are, completely gone, diminished, but that just means that the official warning has went down. But still tracking some pretty severe weather in southern Kentucky.
And it will continue to be that way, it looks like. They're also talking about some pretty large hail out there as well, and maybe up to quarter size, maybe larger. We'll examine the data here. This is saying hen egg size is a possibility, so the computer estimating that within that thunderstorm cell that's moving through McCreary County, getting ready to cross the border over into Whitley County. So the chances of that happening are also there. And I'm going to check something else out here just to see what is happening with the wind speeds. And okay, not seeing a whole lot of the shear at the moment, and the circulation at this point. Now, it was there a little bit earlier, it looks like, but not there at this point in time. So it was there earlier, not there now. according to the latest data, it's still indicated there on radar that there could be one showing up there in southern Kentucky. Still the rotation factor coming in. And again, that's what we look for when tornadoes are issued, that or a ground confirmation, somebody actually seeing it out and about somewhere in a location like we've seen all day long with a lot of the reports of funnel clouds spotted in several different locations throughout Whitley County. That's been the primary area today, but right now it's far eastern sections of McCreary getting hit hard, and then you go over into the far western sections of Whitley County. That's where we're now starting to see a pretty decent thunderstorm across the border, possibly producing a tornado. So as we've mentioned so many times here in the last little bit, you need to go ahead and take cover as quickly as you can. Still moving off toward the east, at around 20 miles per hour. So I'll take it out over the next 20 minutes or so here. And still some of the same communities directly affected that we were talking about a little while ago. I'll go one step further. Let's go all the way out to 30 minutes here and see what it does. The warning goes for about 20 more minutes. That's why I was going the 20-minute load, but we'll go ahead and try this. And right at 29, 30 minutes, looking at a few more locations that some of you folks may be more familiar with as this storm over the last little bit. It started out with that more of a southeasterly turn, but now turning apparently a little more toward the east and moving in that general direction here over the next 20 minutes. And that's where our tornado warning is at for Whitley County and parts of McCreary County. Again, there's a complex of thunderstorms right there hugging the border, as Brandon mentioned a moment ago, that will sweep through southern Kentucky. And once that gets out here, it looks like there's a calm period that should build in, just lighter showers on the backside of this. But the flooding, that's what we're going to be dealing with, I think, a lot here within the next little bit. Severe thunderstorm for central McCreary and western Whitley County. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. This kind of supersedes that. It goes till 7:15 and it will expire at 7:15 because the significant weather has passed those areas. It's right here that we're dealing with it now. Spotters have reported over there in sections of McCreary County that a rotating wall cloud north of Whitley City. Now that was a little bit earlier. That was at 7. Let's see, that was, it doesn't say the exact time.
This advisory came out 7:10, so it's the last few minutes.
So last few minutes saying that it was up there north of Whitley City, and that was when, that was actually where Doppler radar indicated that there could be a tornado and what sparked this warning that we're dealing with now. So again, getting that ground confirmation, some eyes on the skies, trying to confirm whether or not they've actually seen a tornado. So now Holly Hill there, going on over into Ayers, Pleasant View, some of these locations just to the south and west, or almost due west now of the city of Williamsburg, which if they get hit again, it would be...
that's around 3 or 4, I think.
3 or 4, that's what I was thinking. They had several cells go through earlier, producing some very intense rainfall and that threat for significant severe weather, possible tornado passing right over top of the courthouse. Earlier today we had some dispatchers report that, and we relayed obviously that information along to you at that point too. So right now, Duck Run to Holly Hill, those areas that are showing up on your map, getting hit pretty hard. Some significant weather embedded within this thunderstorm that could be a tornado, and at one point in time possibly rotating along a wall cloud there earlier, right around, I'd say, the time this warning came out or somewhere thereafter. This warning close to 7 o'clock. Somewhere thereafter, it looks like there may have been some folks seeing the actual tornado itself or the funnel cloud in association with the rotation area indicated on Doppler radar. So we'll continue to kind of watch this one as it rolls right along off toward the south and east, or maybe you could say east-southeast here lately with some of the projections here with some of the data that comes in. So more of an east-southeast turn here in the last few minutes, as a very strong thunderstorm continues to pound eastern McCreary County and now going right on over into Whitley County with an intense thunderstorm with all the necessary ingredients, it looks like, to possibly be producing a tornado for this area here in extreme southern Kentucky. Again, I imagine it's going to be a tough situation down there to try to figure out whether there was a tornado touchdown or not. With so many different storms going through, it's going to be It's going to be tough, especially if there's any significant damage. Now, one thing we've avoided so far today, I haven't seen any major reports of it. Wind damage. You know, we had a lot yesterday out of this, just basically, I'd say, straight line winds that rolled through here. But today, not the case. We've only had just the tornado warnings out there for the most part, covering up those areas, and maybe a tree down here or there. But the big threat was flooding earlier, and that's where all the damage has been, with some of the flooding all across southeastern Kentucky. Again, no major reports out through this area in McCreary County for flooding yet, but I suspect that with yet another cell rolling right overhead, we may run into that possibility as well here very, very shortly, with flash flood warnings already posted all through this area. I extended that to 9 o'clock a little while ago, and now you're dealing with another cell that could be producing very intense rainfall rates, and I bet it is. And I can pull that up too here in just a moment. We can try to get a good estimate of the rainfall rate here in just a second too, and we'll throw that information out there for you. But right now, obviously the most important thing is that yes, it is a possible tornado there in that area, moving through McCreary County, stretching over to Whitley County pretty soon. And I'll let Brandon go over some more of the warning information here for you real quick.
Okay. Let's retouch the warnings if you're just joining us. About 16 minutes after 7, tornado warning in effect, as we've been saying here for McCreary, eastern McCreary and west central Whitley counties for about the next 14 minutes or so until 7:30 tonight. Had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out in the same area that have been allowed to expire a couple minutes ago. The thing we're kind of looking at now, I believe there's also a flash flood warning out that way until later on tonight for the same areas that have been hit hard by rain this afternoon and storms, both in the same area in southern Kentucky there, McCreary County, Whitley County, parts of Bell and Knox counties. This is, like we were talking about a few minutes ago, probably the third or fourth line of strong storms spawning these tornado warnings we've seen move through that area. So, and then other parts of the viewing area also dealing with some flooding concerns tonight, flash flood watches and warnings in other places as well that they're kind of keeping their eye on to make sure that no widespread flooding is going on. We had reports of flooding earlier in Letcher County over in the Fleming Neon area that we had a crew out there for earlier. So far, at least at this point, it looks like most of the storms and coverage are hanging out down here in southern and far southeastern Kentucky around the Tennessee and Virginia borders. And right now, it looks like about 15,000 people or so affected by this storm moving through. You can see the communities expected to hit in the next few minutes. Centertown, 723, Beaver Dam, 735, Fordsville, 753, moving all the way to Welch's Creek at 807. And pretty high probability there for some hail. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing that as we see the storm system continue to move to the east. And it's just been kind of an active day for those folks down there. So don't let your guard down just yet. It may look like all this is moving out, but that tornado warning still active for another few minutes there till 7:30 tonight for parts of McCreary and Whitley counties. And just got information a few minutes ago, another funnel cloud possibly observed down that way. That's probably been 3 or 4 alone today. We had one over in Williamsburg earlier at the courthouse. So kind of the same area is getting hammered with all this heavy rain and these storms. And so it's been a very active night for those folks down there starting about 2:30 this afternoon. So.
And a couple of those communities again, and some of the roads, you got Little Creek, or Little Wolf Creek Road, State Highway 628, any of these locations, the storm trying to turn just toward that. There's Wolf Creek Road itself, not the Little Wolf Creek, the actual Wolf Creek. Interstate 75 will be under the gun again, hit probably for the, I don't know how many times a day with the storms that have gone through there, whether it was a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. All of these just continue to fire up and go through there. There's Jellicoe Creek Road as well. So any of these locations getting ready to get blasted by the severe weather and the possibility of a tornado. So if you're in these locations, again, that's when you need to go ahead and try to take shelter. And by shelter, I mean, let's check out some of these severe weather tips. Get to the basement or the lowest point of your home. And if you do not have a basement, you want to get to an entire bottom floor, an interior hallway or room there. And again, what I've stressed for the last couple of days here, because, well, we've had the same rounds of weather over and over again, is fortify yourself. You've got to fortify yourself by putting more walls between you and the outside world. And what's out there, it may be something you don't want to mess with, and that may be a tornado or some very strong winds. So again, interior hallway room, maybe get some pillows or some blankets, whatever it may be, and put them around your body. Once you get to that basement, though, by the way, don't forget to get maybe under a desk, a workbench, whatever you have down there, something to protect you from falling debris that could certainly come from the ceiling of the basement there and come from the stories above. Because if, in fact, a tornado does impact your home, it could certainly weaken the frame, and you could start to see some things falling from above, even if you are in that basement. We are taking you directly out of the punch, so to speak, of the tornado. But by getting to that basement, you'll add yourself a little more protection. Stay away from windows, and of course, abandoned mobile homes. A couple of good little tips right there. Back to the pinpoint Doppler we go, and we're still tracking the cell that was possibly producing tornado. Located at say about 712. It's still indicated there may be enough rotation 6 miles south and east of Whitley City that could indicate there could be a tornado. So there you see, you see Whitley City off to the north and west. So it's been a little while since it was actually in that area. The storm's not moving at a really fast rate of speed, but it is moving at a decent little rate of speed. So more showers and thunderstorms will continue to kind of roll through this area. This one little cell causing all kinds of problems. Again, here over the last, let's see, it's 7:21.
5 hours.
Yeah, all day long, seems like. The last 5 hours or so, we've had this same little area hit over and over again. And right now, tornado warning in effect. Now, if you are in Whitley City there in McCreary County or Stearns, by not even, things are much calmer now. The storm has cleared your area. It's moved to the south and east of your location, and it is in Whitley County primarily now as we continue to watch those sweeps come in and update some of the radar information. And still, Morristown's still not online, so maybe having some issues with the severe weather of their own from earlier. It looked like a storm was right on them when the radar last sweep went through. But right there along the Kentucky 92 and in between Whitley and McCreary County, you've got that impressive cell that continues to work its way through the southwestern corner of the county. A few roads here, very few it looks like. Jackson Road, Wolf Knob Road, and you got Proctor Road here, Kinsey Hollow Road, and there's Suckle Hollow Road. So all of these locations, if you know someone that lives on one of those in that general area, they need to be prepared for the possibility of a tornado. And it could be coming in your direction here very, very shortly. So get to that safe spot right now. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Get in there. Wait for about 25-30 minutes. And it should be moving out of the region by that point. And that last sweep coming through, tearing this storm down, I'll tell you. Maybe it has weakened some. Indication of rotation was still there a few minutes ago. Well, about 10 minutes ago now. And when the last statement was issued, I'll check on some of my other products here and see what I can see via the radial velocity here, see what the spin is like in the atmosphere, and still at least some trace of it showing up right through that area, maybe a little broader than what it was a little while ago. And as I said, that sometimes that's just an indication the whole storm is rotating. I said that earlier today. All my cut-ins here are running together here. Well, we've been on here and talked about the severe weather so much, but you've got the possibility of it trying to weaken at least maybe a little bit now as it's pulling toward the south and eventually over into Tennessee here very, very shortly. Severe thunderstorm warning issued until 8 o'clock now, until 8 o'clock for, let's see, Whitley County and
kind of the same area, isn't it?
Same area. So maybe they're going to let this go down here in just a little bit. Yeah. As far as the tornadic threat, they're seeing it like we're seeing it here. That with the last couple of sweeps, they're seeing that the bulk of the activity has kind of gone down. So they have extended a warning out from it, but they've extended it as a severe thunderstorm warning that now runs through 8 o'clock from McCreary and Whitley County, that southern little section there, southern little section. Streams over roads and bridges in Whitley County and Williamsburg. Event occurred between 7 o'clock and 7:15. Well, that's been while we've been on the air for this. So that heavy rain really doing a number on the city of Williamsburg, as it had to. I mean, they just don't understand so much before it starts to cause some real issues. But right now, that tornado warning likely going to go away here at 7:30. They've just changed it up a little bit.
Jim, also, let me jump in there real quick. I was checking out the National Weather Service Office in Morristown's page. They've actually extended that warning over into the two counties right there to the left of I-75, Campbell and Scott counties, until 8 o'clock. So they're I guess they're either being cautious or they're still seeing something down that way, that storm system is moving out of southern Kentucky, moving into those counties there. So anybody down there that can see us there also need to be taking shelter and being careful there. Those are Campbell counties and Scott counties for about another 35 minutes till 8 o'clock. That's the system that's moving through southern Kentucky, and it's going to be pushing in around the I-75 corridor there into northern and eastern Tennessee.
And they continue to kind of barrel down there. And right now, again, that Morristown radar, I'm not getting a full sweep out of them. It's been down.
It's like it's jagged.
Yeah, been down for a little while. So Jackson sweep and the data coming in from Jackson, that's a stream we've got, and that's one we're using here. But as it starts to get more so into Tennessee, obviously, we will cut away from our continuous coverage of the severe thunderstorm, possibly producing a tornado down there in southern Kentucky. As a matter of fact, we're right now about 4 minutes away, and it looks like the threat for the tornadic activity has died out, and they will let the tornado warning expire at 7:30, and that kind of tells us, and what we've been seeing here the last little bit, it tells us that, yeah, probably we can go ahead and to get out of our severe weather coverage here in just a moment. So again, we did have that tornado warning in effect, and technically speaking, it's still in effect until right at 7:30. So we've still got a few more minutes left on our warning here, so just keep that in mind. It's still going to be pretty impressive with some strong winds, maybe some gusty winds there, and even some large hail for at least the next few minutes here. And you've also got the possibility of some heavy rain there. Just read that report out of Williamsburg where they had the heavy rain causing all kinds of issues through parts of Williamsburg. So flash flooding, big concern now. And once this all gets out of here, once the severe weather gets out of here, we'll have to kind of look back and check the situation out for the potential of more flooding out there. Again, with more rain on the way tomorrow and just some lighter showers around later on tonight, that's always going to be another big-time threat. That's southern and eastern Kentucky. That's our biggest issue here, is flooding and flash flooding. And to remember, if you encounter maybe water covering a road, it's easy. Here's what you got to do. Turn around, don't drown. Don't end up like some of the folks you've seen on some of the national news stories we've shown here before, where you just all of a sudden you see them go through the water and away they go, causing rescues and even death. I believe it's 2/3 of all flood-related deaths occur due to the fact that people drive through flooded roadways. So you don't want to do it. It's not worth it. Not worth putting your life on the line. So tornado warning will expire at 7:30. Severe thunderstorm warning still for that little southern portion of Whitley County there, the southwestern corner. That goes up until 8 o'clock. And so the storm will continue to work its way on into Tennessee here over the next few minutes. If anything else breaks, starting to get a little more on the calm side though, but if anything breaks, we'll be right here on the air with you with the latest severe weather information. Right now, we'll go ahead and join our regular programming here.